Welcome, everybody. Thanks for being here today. It is the 9th of July. I know I say this all the time, but it seems like this year is flying by faster than ever. It just seems like time's speeding up, but I sound like a broken record. I say that all the time, but it's true. So thanks for being here, guys. We know you're busy, taking an hour out each week. It's really our only requirement, right? Our only expectation of the team, other than representing us with integrity and getting out, generating business to benefit you and us, is that we ask that you either come to this meeting in person or at least watch the recording. I think you get more out of it if you're here in person. You can see the chat, you can ask questions, et cetera, et cetera. But we know that's not always possible. We have quite a few who aren't able to come in the middle of the day, and that's okay. So we do have a few new members. I just want to let me look through the list and see who we need to recognize. Bruce Goodmanson, welcome to the family. He's one of our newest team members. We have, let's see, who else am I missing that I haven't recognized? Talked about you, Ron. Troy Mulestein, welcome to the team. Ron Powell. Talked about you, Laura. You've been here for a little while, but we've introduced you before. Am I missing anyone else that's new in the last week or two? I think everybody we've recognized. So if you're not on this call and we haven't announced your name, you guys show up for us to to recognize you. But Robert, it's good to see you, my friend. I know you had to take a leave of absence for a little while, but really great to see you back in the fold.
Getting there, Patrick. Thank you.
Wanted to give a quick shout out to Mike Odell. His birthday was on Monday, and Lalo Garcia, whose birthday was on his birthday's today, actually, Lalo. So Mike and Lalo are great examples of part of a team that's really collaborating together, really working well together. There's four of them, Scott and Mike and Lalo and Marco, over in the Inland Empire in California. And they meet every Monday. They work together on deals. They're following up. I mean, their plan is to work together as a team and then split any revenue. And they're doing some really great things. But
Yeah,
I mentioned them.
We're just waiting on the photo app of the four amigos on the burro.
Yeah. I mentioned them just because they're a great reminder that don't be afraid to collaborate with someone else on the team, maybe someone you've just met, right? Or someone that you recruit to the team. You know, there's something to be said about synergies in teamwork, even if you have to split a commission, right? I mean, these guys, they don't care who brings the deal. If it sells, they're going to split it. And because they all know they're all working, they're all trying, and it just that support and that synergy carries a lot of weight. So I can't imagine doing what we're doing without having Frank and Andy and Victoria and Jill and Brian and you know, our core team that I can sound. We can use a sounding boards. We can split up responsibilities. We encourage each other. We hold each other accountable, et cetera, et cetera. So you know, keep that in mind because it applies whether you're on the executive team or not. You know, 1 + 1 is, they say 1 + 1 is 3. Really, I say 1 + 1 is 11 if you're standing side by side, right? And so it's an important reminder. But so happy birthday, Mike. Hope you had a good day on Monday, and happy birthday, Lalo. Couple of shout outs. I wanted to recognize Tim Campbell. I don't see him on the call yet, unless he slipped in and I didn't see him, but Tim's been here for about 2 weeks, right? He's from the entertainment industry. We've gotten to know him through VidMe, our social media platform. He's been in the music industry for a couple of decades. he's really taking ownership of this. He's already submitted half a dozen student loan applications. He just had, he set up a nonprofit just the other day. He's only been here like 2 minutes and he is hitting the ground running. And I bring it up because so often we fall into this rut, all of us do, of analysis paralysis. We feel like we have to learn everything first before we get out and start working or opening our mouth. And it's the guys that just say, I know the basics, I can do this. Or I learned that I gained the 10,000 foot view, and I just go out and start talking about it. I start calling on people. I can admit that I'm new. I can admit that I'm not the expert in that arena. That's why we say that the best place to start, just to get that glimpse of that 10,000 foot view, is our CertaintyMadeSimple.com website. It has all the product lines listed. It has a little blurb about each one. That's a good place to start. As you're going through Trainual and getting certified and learning all the different product lines, you start there because it gives you at least a glimpse, or at least a basic understanding of everything we do. So you can at least say to somebody, I know we work in shipping and we have a really phenomenal same-day shipping option. I don't know a lot about it, but if that's a need you have, I can get you with a person who, with people who can answer that question. So kudos to Tim, otherwise known as Tim Boski. Kudos for, when you watch this recording later, just for hitting the ground running. And I just wanted to congratulate you. Also wanted to give a shout out, a big shout out to John McKillop. I don't think he's on either, but he'll watch it. No, he is. I see you here, John. John is same thing. He's been here a little bit longer than Tim, about 4 or 5 weeks now, maybe 6 weeks. And he already has capstone deals in the pipeline. He's bringing on referral sources, which we created a whole nother referral source agreement for, and made some tweaks to it per his request. He's got people who are bringing business. They're not getting interviewed. They're not going through training and everything. They're not coming to meetings, but they have big networks. He brought on a couple from China, Jane and Augustine. They introduced us to a guy named Isaac, who knows the Jewish community in New York and the schools really well. The list goes on. He brought us to a guy in Utah who's opening up doors for us with Make-A-Wish Foundation and Stephen Covey Leadership and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So John, I know you're here. Congratulations. You're doing a great job, man. And we could go on and on. There's a lot more stories, but I wanted to at least recognize these two because they're so new and they're not letting moss go under their butts. They're just hitting the ground running. And that's half the battle. Maybe 9/10 of the battle is just start. One of John's referrals, a guy named Bill Fleury, who I think is going to be extraordinary. He shared a little sales tip that I want to share with you guys real quick. He said there's 4 reasons people don't buy or don't pay. He says there's no trust, there's no need, they don't have the help, there's no help, or there's no hurry, no rush. As we look at what we're doing out here, I'm going to ask Jill to share these with you in the recap email. I think they're good questions you should be asking yourself. Why, if my customers don't trust me or trust us, why is that? Right? If they don't see, if they don't have a need or don't think they have a need, why is that? Am I explaining how we can fill those needs, create those needs, and then fill those? Do they see how we can help them and understand? Is there urgency? Right? We talked with a guy just about a week ago who was interested in being on our team, and I explained that you have to go through several interviews, you have to be trained, you have to be you have to meet certain requirements. He chose not to do it. He wasn't willing to put in the the effort that it requires to be a part of this team. And we decided we weren't a good fit, right? He didn't have the urgency. There was no urgency for him, even though he was a big network. He could have opened up some big doors for us. If you don't have, even in our own recruiting and in our own team, if you don't have trust, if you don't have a need, if you don't see that we can help you, and if you don't have any hurry or rush or urgency, you might come on board if we let you, but you're probably never going to do anything, right? So it's a good, I thought it was a pretty good reminder for our customers, but also in our recruiting, as you're talking about, as you're recruiting others to consider the team, et cetera, et cetera. One thing we're very proud of is our team has been built almost entirely by word of mouth from existing team members. That's why we have such a phenomenal team. You're not recruiting people you wouldn't want to work with. You're not recruiting people that you don't think would represent us well. We have a new guest with us today, Alan Lowe, who's goes back many years with Frank. He's very connected down in Florida in the nonprofit arena, with the cities, with businesses. He's like, I've got one group of 250 restaurants I could bring to your FICA tip. He doesn't know if he has the time to dedicate to this as much as a full reseller is. So we're starting him as a referral source, but he's intrigued by the opportunity too. So anyway, we can talk more about that, but let's move on. We have a lot to cover. So I want to share some updates. We've got ERC payments have been rolling in pretty steadily over the last several weeks, which is exciting. We waited for a long time for those to come in. As you know, the employee retention credit went on hiatus. It was on moratorium for several months. As soon as Trump got back in office, the payments started flowing again. And so it's nice seeing some of you guys get paid on jobs you sold several months ago from that space. The Capstone is making some good headway. I don't see Victoria with us today, though.
She's out of the urgent care for her eye issue, but she's all right. Just has to have rest and not have any screen time to rest that eye. So she said she wouldn't be on.
Okay, so Capstone, I mentioned this last week, but part of the best news we've had in the last month was that Rob Hagan and Lane Ostro were taking over Capstone and managing all of our Capstone business, everything we're doing. We've got some very large deals in the pipeline for Capstone. Not having to work through IPOP anymore and being able to work directly with Rob and Lane, we're really excited about that. Now, there's some things that are changing. The pay is actually went up a little bit, as we mentioned. We used to pay $750 monthly. It's now at $8. We're working out some like administrative questions of onboarding the jobs. But one of the best things is they've brought on 8 more managers to help present to the clients and close the business. And these are managers that work for Capstone. They know all of their programs. They know them in and out. And so Rob Hagan isn't our only presenter. Now we have 8 more guys who really know that product, and we can tee them up to meet with our customers as quickly as possible. I think it's going to help everything move more slowly and probably increase our close rate. With Benefit Airship, as you know, we've got 2 or 3 dozen of you that have expressed interest in being affiliates for the benefit program, Benefit Airship, and the new cancer program that's coming out. And Victoria's planning a separate training for anyone who raised your hand on that. If you haven't let her know that you want to be on that list, make sure you send her a message in the app and let her know that that's of interest to you. Okay. We're seeing more student loan applications close. For us, it's really more of a philanthropic effort. It's a service to our customers, their kids and their friends. But I know some of you are getting checks because I see deals closing. You guys are getting, and one of the best things about student loan is that they close it, you get paid within 24 hours, if not same day.
Yeah, just a quick note, Patrick, on Frankly Seniors, our show, I will be pushing that student loan out to grandparents all over America. So be aware and use the show for that as far as credibility and marketing in all your efforts.
Yeah, and that takes me to my next update, actually, Frank, because speaking of the shows, we just had a meeting this morning with a network out of San Francisco. They're actually expanding. They're moving the company actually here to Henderson, which was kind of funny. The guy's moving here as well. But they're going to be putting our shows. We're moving them from Bold Brave TV actually to the next step up, which is an even bigger network. They have contracts with the NFL, with ESPN, with Home Depot. They've got some big sponsors. And so my show and Frank's show, Frankly Seniors and Finding Certainty and Frankly Seniors, are going to be on that show, on that network coming up here soon. They're really excited about adding us to their lineup. You guys see all the updates on Visa, MasterCard. We're working through the conflicts. If you have questions, just ask Victoria about that. She's not here, so we don't have any other updates. The next project that we are rolling out that we're excited about is FICA Tip. Now, our website is done. You can enroll customers through our website. Victoria can send out that link to you if you want. We've got a flyer created with our QR code. It's going to be a few more days until they have the sub-affiliate accounts or websites finished. I don't know exactly when that will be, but it's going to be any day now. Tom's in Florida right now for a tournament for his son. His son's a collegiate basketball player. And so I'll talk to him this afternoon and find out exactly. I was hoping Victoria had an update on that, but we have we can start onboarding customers. And if you have a customer who's chomping at the bit and ready to go, you can submit them through the company website, get them going, start collecting their documents and getting them in. And you don't have to wait any longer. We'll just assign it over to you later. We just need to know who it was. If you want to wait until you have your own platform, your own website, you can do that. Okay. The rest of the meeting, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 gifts that we have for you. Okay. And that really, I'll say 4. We'll say in recognition of the 4th of July. We talked about freedom. We talked about independence. We've made a big deal lately about some of the veterans on our team, especially Glenn Copeland, who's our 2-time Purple Heart recipient, and he's been getting a lot of recognition lately for what he's done. He even had a car dealership who just donated him a Subaru Forester, and brand new car. So we're proud of you, Glenn. But as we talk about freedom and we talk about the gift that is, I wanted to give you guys 4 different gifts that can bless your own life and help you in your work. And there's a lot more coming, but for now, the first one is the new FICA Tip flyers. Let me share my screen and let you see what they look like. Okay. The flyers, we had Delwyn do them. I think they look really professional. We're going to put a QR code on here somewhere. We're not sure I'm not sure where we'll put them, maybe right in the middle, but it's pretty straightforward. I like the tagline, stop leaving money on the table. Claim your FICA tip tax credit. It goes through who qualifies, the key benefits, how to claim the credit, etc. We want to have the QR code so they can scan it. It'll take them right to your website. I haven't put these out yet for that reason. Okay, I want to make sure we create a QR code for each of you, or you can do that and start using it. Now, I made several versions of this, so you can pick if you feel more comfortable with this guy or this guy or this lady or this lady. There's a bunch of different nationalities. There's a bunch of different styles, and you can pick whichever one you want to use. So that's my first gift. Not a big deal, but I think they look pretty good. I think Delwyn did a good job on them. Okay. A second gift is I updated. We'll call this in the first one. Part of the first gift. I've got a couple of updates for you. I went in and updated the Certainty Fellowship write-up. Brought it up to date. If you don't know what this is, Certainty Fellowship is a new program that we're trying to roll out, trying to make available for college students to get involved in what we do and to be able to pay for school. This can be upcoming students who want to go to school. It can be students like my son who are in college and looking for ways to pay for it and to graduate and to hopefully do so debt free. This write-up, we'll send out the link afterward, but it goes through exactly how it works. Okay. This is a way for you to, one, help a kid or help some kids to get through school, and two, to help yourself because you're going to override everything they do. Every college kid out there has three things in common. They're worried about graduating and getting a job and paying for debt, or worrying about graduating and getting and ending up with a lot of debt. We can help and eliminate that worry. Okay. Every college kid knows hundreds, potentially, of potential prospects for us. It could be neighbors, it could be friends, it could be family, it could be people from church, former employers, relatives, whoever, even just strangers that they meet, right? They all have a circle of connections. What's unique about a kid referring, say, their uncle or their pastor or a neighbor, is that customer, we believe, is going to be more likely to want to help, to even to hear us out, right? To do business with us. One, because of what we do once they understand it, but two, because they want to help that student. If they know that doing business with us is going to help that student, it's like our nonprofit program, right? If a client knows that doing business with us is going to help them in their business and help the nonprofit that referred them, they're that much more likely to take a serious look at it, to, one, give us the time, two, take a look at it, and three, to do business. And so if you're not incorporating this element into your work, I think you're missing a really big piece, potentially very strong arrow in your quiver, right? Because it just makes sense, right? People these days, especially the younger generation, want to feel like there's purpose in what they're doing. And if they know that doing business with us is going to bless a nonprofit they care about, doing business with us is going to bless a college student they care about, or a veteran that they care about, they're going to be that much more likely to listen. And once they see what we do, we can get them closed. Now, there's a third piece that every college student has in common, and that is that they know others in the same boat, right? They're surrounded by struggling students who are looking for ways to pay to get through college, looking for ways to to pay off the student debt or keep from going into debt, et cetera, et cetera. So read through this, you'll understand it. It's very similar to our nonprofit program, same concept. And it's all built around this concept of reciprocity, this reciprocal funding concept. Let me show you this to help explain it. Okay, when we talk to nonprofits, we talk to them about how the way we can help raise funding, there's a lot of challenges out there, but the way we can help raise funding is by each bringing a piece of the pie to the table. This applies to a college kid who knows people, knows family, knows friends, or their parents know people. It applies to a nonprofit who knows donors, board members, community members, etc. You can replace this nonprofit with student. It's the same exact model. They have relationships that we don't have. Those relationships have needs. We have the expertise for how to fill those needs, and our vendor partners can deliver on that expertise. Essentially, all we're doing, guys, with our Certainty Fellowship with students and the Certainty Partnership Program with nonprofits is we're creating additional sales partners who all they have to do is make an introduction, send out a video, let someone watch it and ask them if they're interested in hearing more. That's a pretty easy ask. What we do, and the same thing would apply with a student, with a nonprofit, we donate 50% of the commission. We then ask the client to match our donation. We do the same thing on any referrals and upgrades. And then we invite those referrals to do the same. We say, we're going to donate 50% of the commission on this job. And we'd love to see you give as well. We can't control that part, right? We can't control that the entity is going to kick in as well, but there's a pretty good chance. It's a pretty good time to ask if we created those found dollars in their budget. Pretty good time to ask if they want to kick in as well and match or give some or even more. And obviously the best part is that we don't charge anything up front or out of pocket. So you go through our divisions, and there's 10 different divisions and about 50 different ways that we can help our clients. One commission could pay for a kid's entire college education. It could fund a nonprofit, give them more donations than they got from 25 other donors, et cetera, et cetera. So that's that. So that's call those the first gift. The FICIC tip, flyers, and the updated Certainty Fellowship program. We're working on a PowerPoint version of this that's just generic to Certainty as well, not just about fundraising. We'll be getting that out here soon too. Okay. Now, let's talk about some other updates. So I spent quite a bit of time this last week working on the certaintyexpert.com site. This is where you go to get all the assets. You notice I filled in the divisions. They're not missing the first one and the last two anymore. It's being updated. I'm catching up the flyers. We're creating new white label flyers. You see all the artwork there that Delwyn's created in the PowerPoint. All of that's going to be in the new website. It's going to be in the new white papers, et cetera, et cetera. And all of that's progressing slowly but surely. Let's see here. On the Certainty Global side, I wanted to share a couple of little updates there too, if I may. But then I'll go over gift number 3. VidMe is going really well, guys. It's active now. Those of you who are involved in it, you're able to log in. You're able to pay your membership fee. You can start seeing the content in there. They're adding more and more every day. They're adding in more and more features. We talked about Benefit Airship. We're taking Benefit Airship to VidMe. I have a presentation ready for Mike Popovich to share it with all of their content creators, all their members. We're also sharing a program called ACE that we're going to be sharing with you guys here next week. Next Wednesday, we have a guest speaker coming to talk about a new marketing tool that we're going to be rolling out that I'm excited for you to see. I talked about our podcasts. I just met with a CFO that we're looking at hiring. We have Irv and I are meeting with him on Friday for about 3 or 4 hours. We're growing bigger and bigger, and we need to consider having at least a fractional CFO, not just our bookkeeper and our tax guy. Don Vucinich, who is on here, is launching a new company. I've convinced him to let us use the word certainty and call it Certainty Veterans. And you're gonna be getting more information from that over the next few weeks. But we're a veteran-owned company. We seek to help support veteran organizations and nonprofits and so forth. But we are creating our own company to help serve these veterans better, help them access their benefits, and help them access their back pay. And it's going to be a really great service that you can provide to any and all veterans that you meet. It will create a little bit of commission for you, kind of similar to a student optimum services commission, but it can be life-changing for these warriors. It's also can be a lead source for you for additional certainty sales. This can be some of the products we're going to be adding in, like reverse mortgages and estate planning and some of these other things that we can do to help the veterans who need it. Maybe they need benefits. You can help them with Benefit Airship. Maybe they're a business owner. We can help them with Capstone or shipping or merchant processing. Maybe they need a job, and there's somebody that we'd consider recruiting to our team. There's a program where you can go to any employer and ask them if they have veterans who work for them, and if those veterans don't have their disability benefits and we can get them approved for those disability benefits, that employer gets paid. It's about $8,000 to $9,000 per employee. So that's a great way to get your foot in the door with a business and really endear yourself to that employer and create more customers for the veterans business, which in turn can create more certainty business for you. And number one, it's another way to just really earn that employer's trust. Maybe he has 8 veterans who work for him who don't have their benefits yet. They haven't received their VA benefits. The VA can be really difficult to work with. We go and get those for them. He makes $60,000, $70,000. His veterans are taken care of. He looks like a hero for having introduced it to them. And now what's the next step? Well, of course, let's talk Capstone. Let's talk some of these other things we can do for them. So that is happening as we speak. Irv is helping us set up the entity and get the legal documents ready for that. Don's going to be spearheading it. He's got a lot of background processing paperwork as in his mortgage with all his mortgage and experience, all his business experience. I'm really, really excited about that. And it's going to be a great lead source, a great service, just a great opportunity for all of us. And this is something we're going to be able to do internationally, or excuse me, nationally. I talk a lot, guys, about how what we do creates ripple effects. And this is just one more example. Ripple effects of income, opportunity, ripple effects of good. I mean, just to give you an idea, I was talking with our friend Tony Salazar about that, who works with Power Fund, one of our funding companies, and he told me he's wanting to start his own funding company, and he's going to take us on as his first customer and provide financing for veterans who need it, do these microloans for veterans who need it. That's just one more thing that we can have ownership in, we can take part in, we can help benefit these veterans even more with if they want to take part in this, but they don't have the funds to pay for the fee, because we're not going to be charging them an arm and a leg on the back end. We're going to charge a nominal fee on the front end to make sure we keep our lights on, we can hire the staff and get the work done. And so it's just a ripple effect, right? It's just another opportunity that's come about. When we started Certainty Global, we did it really as a place to house a technology project, an engine that we're developing, and that's got legs now. We've got an engineering firm who's working on a prototype for us. We've got an in with NASA. We've got an in with the Navy. We've got all these little things happening, and the opportunities beget more opportunities, right? This veteran business has begat maybe this lending business and other ways to help not just the veterans, but maybe others. I say all that, guys, because these are opportunities that can benefit all of us, and there's more of them out there. And I don't want you to think that you're excluded from that, right? Or you're omitted from that. You may come across an opportunity or an investment or whatever, a joint venture that you think would be a good fit for us. When you do, bring it to us, right? It might be a technology project for the global side or a sales project for the certainty management side. But those things are, they're extraordinary how they're happening. Here, I want to give you a third gift. Okay, this is gift number 3. And time is going by fast, so I'm going to talk fast. I talk about these opportunities, creating opportunity upon opportunity. The job itself is obviously a great opportunity. The commissions that we have available to us are an opportunity. I told Victoria the other day, I said, Victoria, if you have a project in mind that you'd like to build or create someday, let us know. Okay, let me know, because we would love to fund it. We'd love to make it happen. We'd love to hire the team to run it, and maybe they just report to you, but you don't spend any time on it, but it goes and helps single moms or whatever the case might be. I would say the same thing to you all. Andy and Frank and I have made a relationship with a group that is interested in funding projects like that. We didn't know if they were going to be for real. We didn't know if they were everything they were cracked up to be. The more we've gotten to know them, the more we believe they are. And we're getting very close to that point where we could literally have a blank check to fund good projects. That could be another job that you guys have. Another role is to look for good projects that need funding. It could be just an extraordinary way for us to do more good. One of those projects that we were just recently introduced to is a new platform that all of you can participate in and take part in and benefit from if you want to. And it's a new platform that will be replacing Zoom. It's going to replace our Zooms. We're not going to be using Zoom for our meetings starting probably by next week. We may even have it in place by next Wednesday. This is a Zoom killer, as we're calling it. It's encrypted. It's on the blockchain. It cannot be hacked. They're not going to be collecting your data. They're not going to be spying on you. The presentation capabilities in it are amazing. we can have our presentations built right into it. We can have video. You can put a button, a sign up button, a scheduling link, all of it built right into the platform rather than having to send them afterwards, et cetera, et cetera. We'll get you a presentation video, but this is a platform where you can use for free if you want, just as an attendee. But if you want to invest in it and actually own an account of your own, like you would a Zoom account, you can actually share in the revenue of this platform. And they pay it in, because it's on the blockchain, they pay it in a coin called a rally coin. In a very real sense, it's like getting paid Bitcoin every time you do a presentation. Literally, you can earn it every time you use the platform. It's very interesting. We'll get you the video. Just know that that's something that's coming. And I bring it up to say this. When you're involved with us, you're going to have opportunities to take part in projects like VidMe, like this project, like the Certainty Fellowship, and other things we're doing that can build real wealth, guys. Real expanding wealth for you and your loved ones generationally, not to mention doing real good. This is a program called R-Link. We're going to white label it to us. I think what we may do is just create a corporate account and have, and anyone who wants to can obviously use ours. But if you want, we'll look into how we do it. But there's some really cool features, and it will create additional revenue for you when we start using it. My goal is that everybody on our team is a millionaire. I want you to be multimillionaires. I want to see $1 million a year coming into your coffer, if not $1 million a month coming into your coffers. That's what we're building here. Some of you are on track to do that already, and there's going to be a lot more coming. Now, that's our third gift, is a chance to be a part of that platform and benefit from it if you want to. The next one, and here's one more. Now, I even have a bonus gift I'll share with you. I can do both of these in the next 5 minutes. A few weeks ago, we had a friend of mine, Tyler Watson, come and talk to the team about his methodology, his coaching that he does to help with what he calls cellular alignment. He wrote a best-selling book. He's got he's coached thousands of people in this process. And I met him at one of the conferences I attended, and we got to be friends. And I started understanding a little bit about what he did. Had him come and speak to the team. Some of you guys might remember hearing from him. Oh, it's been about a month and a half ago now. Well, I got to tell you a story. I introduced him to my parents. My dad has some severe health issues. He's in a wheelchair. He has leg pain. He can't sleep very well at night. He has digestion problems. He's got a lot of challenges. Well, Tyler's work will work to help with health issues, with relationship issues, with financial issues, et cetera, et cetera. As you may recall, if you were here when he spoke to us a few weeks ago, he talked about how so many coaches out there, so many business coaches and others are, they focus on your mind, right? They have you setting goals and doing affirmations and visualization and walking on fire and all these different things. What Tyler has learned over the years and now coached thousands of people on is that most of our challenges, most of our issues are in the other 98%. It might be affected by our minds. It might be impacted, but he said most of our blockage or our hurdles are within our cellular system, our muscular system, our circulatory system, right? The other 98%. And what he's learned is some ways to put that 98% to work for you. to help you accomplish your goals. Well, when my mom and dad started working with him, some of you guys know my mom, she brought us a lot of ERC business a couple of years ago. But since my mom and dad have started working with him, my dad is sleeping through the night. He's eating like he hasn't in years. His leg pain is gone. And he is so invigorated that it's almost hard to believe. I wouldn't be surprised to see him walking again and getting his leg strength back. I mean, things that Tyler has done with him just in the last month are mind-boggling. And so I talked to him about maybe he could help me with some things too. And I said, I'd really like to learn what you're doing because I see it helping my dad. And I want to learn it and I want to teach it to my team. I want to help my kids. I want to help my son or my wife with her health issues. So I'm going through his certification that he does to be a certified trainer for this. I don't have any intention of doing it as a business. A lot of people do. A lot of people learn what he does and then coach clients. That's not my intent. I want to use it and give it to you guys for free. I'm going to teach you a technique right now that I just learned from him that I think is worth bringing up. And I can do it in the next couple minutes, probably 5 minutes. It's pretty quick. So let me just read this because I wrote it out and it's probably better if I do it this way. Because I asked him about the science behind what he does. It's not foo-foo. It's not just like Reiki or something like that. It's not just energy work. There is actual science built into this. And it's very interesting. He says, so I asked him about the science behind his cellular alignment. And he said, we don't have to be triggered, right? We don't have to live in trauma, live in poverty. We don't have to live in anger, sickness, relationship issues, anxiety, depression. He says, we don't have to do that. Many of us do, millions of people do, but we don't have to. That's the first principle, maybe the foundation of it all. He said, our thoughts are not the trigger. Okay. It's our feelings that are the trigger. When we tune into the feeling and ask what thoughts are triggering this feeling, it helps us to identify the cause. Thoughts create feelings, not the other way around. Okay. I've known this for years. Okay. I know our thoughts dictate our feelings, and usually our negative feelings are distorted, right? I'll come back to that. But if you think about it this way, every one of us, every single human has core feelings and emotions from birth. Thinking and actually vocalizing them is a proactive exercise. It takes us to, being able to vocalize our feelings, being able to get emotion out of us. To do so is something that an adult does, a child usually doesn't. It takes us to this higher, more mature, more empowering level. But Tyler talks a lot about how emotions are the key. They're what are getting in our way. They're what are holding us back. Okay. He says, when we do this, we can be trained to override these emotions, this blockage, as he calls it. We can align and override the emotions that are holding us back with logic and science. We grow up being told and trained to be logical, to shut off our emotions and to not listen to them or feel them, right? As a result, we stuff them. Many of us, from childbirth, from when we were very young, have had hard things happen, right? Divorce, death, trauma, abuse, whatever. And we stuff those emotions down inside of us, and it never helps. And yet we do it. We all do it. He says, when we listen to our feelings, they can control us, and not in a good way. As children, our emotions drove us and served us well. Most kids, unless they're being abused or neglected, are naturally happy. We get away from that as we become adults. It says we need to retrain ourselves to use our feelings to create positive, more empowering ones, and back them up with the structure, the thoughts, and the tactics that I'm going to teach you guys over the next several weeks. If you think about it, Christ himself said, become as a little child. Why is that? Is that because they listened to their emotions? They didn't stuff them. I think he may have been onto something. He says, but the key is to tune into the feelings that you don't want. Okay, this is his kind of his core foundational philosophy. Okay, you tune into the feelings that you don't want, you recognize them, you trigger them so they rise to the surface, and then you shift them. You release them, you get rid of them. Don't just let them control you. You go through the steps that he teaches to actually let them go. That's why he talks about how he's able to help people change, let go of habits, let go of addictions, even like gluten intolerance, things like that, or financial issues, relationship issues, health issues. And he's seen customers and of his clients of his do so in a single session, not over months or years like a counselor would do, but literally instantly, or in a very quick period of time. So this is really interesting. He says, when we vocalize our feelings and put them into words, we can deal with them. It's like turning a light on in order to make the darkness disappear. We need to first note the elephant in the room. So this is the first step. You've got to recognize that there's something that's holding you back, right? Something that's causing you concern. So we need to identify what's wrong before we can work on what we want. Remember that any emotion you're feeling is usually the tip of a much larger iceberg. If you feel frustrated by something, there's probably much more underwater or under the surface than you realize. Maybe you feel sad, maybe you feel depressed or anxious or worried or nervous. These are the tip of the iceberg. He says, how should you feel in what he calls your ideal state? Excited, peaceful, happy. If he says it's really important that you tune into any feelings that are incongruent with this state. If you picture your ideal state, financially independent, healthy, good relationships, how would you feel? And if you're not feeling that way, what is incongruent? What's incompatible? What is the feeling or the emotion that you're feeling that's incongruent with that ideal state, with that goal? He says you tune into any feelings that are incongruent with that state. You can then, as you tune into these feelings and give voice to them, begin to clear them and improve them. All right. And what do we mean by tuning in? And this is his first step in his alignment process. He says you have to focus on where you feel the tension in your body, the tension or the heaviness. If I'm worried about something, I'm stressing about something, I feel it in the pit of my stomach or in my chest, or maybe my hands or my feet or legs or whatever, somewhere in my body, that the tension or that heaviness is focused. And he says from this emotion, it's from the trigger, as he calls it. What thoughts are you having? What feelings do you feel? And very important, this is step one, where do you feel them? Okay, it's 2:00, guys. If you have to go, I understand. You can listen to the recording. I'm going to keep going for a few more minutes here. I think this is important, and I think it could help everyone on our team. He says, vocalize that feeling. Kudos to Malicia, who was on our call last week. She was his guinea pig, and she did it in front of all of us, right? And he helped her through, I think it was procrastination, if I remember. And he was helping her work through this blockage. He says that everything we deal with in our lives is either an addiction or an allergy. It's something we're drawing to us, which we don't want, or we're pushing it away, something that we do want. And it's literally within our cells, within our ecosystem, that we're doing that. Okay. Bear with me if it sounds a little bit crazy. I'm telling you, this stuff it works, and I'm seeing it work. Okay, so you vocalize the negative emotion. What is this emotion that you're feeling that's incongruent with your ideal state? What you know you should be feeling, and if you're not feeling it, what are you feeling and where are you feeling it? He said, then you tap that part of your body. And the reason you tap is to trigger or to focus the trigger, focus that emotion in that area. If you're feeling it in your chest, in your gut, in your arm, whatever. Said, and give it a score from 1 to 10. 1 meaning I don't feel it at all. I'm fine. 10 means it's excruciating. It's about as bad as it could be. You want to score it so you see how it improves as you clear it and as you go through the alignment process. He said, in most triggers, you may not realize this, but we automatically hold our breath. If you're scared, if you're startled, if you're stressed, we inadvertently hold our breath, even subconsciously. We may not even realize we're doing it, but we're not breathing the way we could. I just learned a technique the other day that said if you turn your palms up, it literally opens up your lungs and you can breathe more deeply. If your palms are facing down, you can try it. You can't breathe as deeply as if your palms are facing up. So anyway, the first process, or in the process, many times when we're feeling triggered by something, we're not breathing like we could. We hold it in inadvertently. So the first step is to target that emotion and then breathe. Now, he says, this is a really interesting metaphor. For me, it made a lot of sense. He says, an emotional trigger is kind of like a big boulder being thrown into a pond. It makes a really big splash and it sends out these big waves crashing in all directions, right? You can picture the imagery. You throw a boulder in the lake. We used to all do that as kids. And it has a big splash and it sends out these big ripples. That's like a negative emotional trigger. He says when we tap on that location, might be wherever we're going to do it, we tap on the lotion to keep that big splash, that emotional or that trigger focused, and to bring it to the surface. Because then we're going to counteract it with something positive. We can't clear things. You can't let go of something if it's stuffed, if it's buried. So that's this first step. Tap it to bring it out, bring it to the surface. I can't explain it. I don't know why it works, but I'm telling you it works. It brings it to top of mind. It brings it to present. It makes it conscious. And then you can go to work on it. He says we need to tap on the area to create a counter effect. It's like a counteractive effect. When we do the tapping on the area where you feel it, it creates little micro traumas that counter the macro trauma. The trauma is like the big rock thrown into the pond, while the tapping is like lots of small little pebbles being thrown into the pond at the same time. All the hundreds of little small ripples wash out the big wave from the big rock. This is interesting. One of the technology projects that we have been looking at helping with, it was introduced to us by John McKillop. It's a company that measures frequencies. They have this extraordinary technology that can analyze the frequency of anything, of certain elements, of different DNAs, of different engine. The list goes on and on. They said they could use their technology and identify where every single hostage is in the Gaza Strip just by identifying their DNA. And it's all based on frequencies. Think of sound waves, right? Or different, energy frequencies. Well, I bring that up because it's related to this in ways, because everything is energy. Every element, every strand of DNA, every person has a specific frequency. And every trigger sends out a specific frequency, just like a sound wave. It has this special like vibrational response. And when you make two wavelengths of equal or opposite size or strength, two different frequencies, as it were, positive versus negative, they interfere with each other. They alter, they counterbalance, they counteract. and can even cancel each other out. But here's the kicker. It's been proven, I've talked about this in the past, that a positive thought or frequency or sound wave vibrates like 10,000 times faster than a negative thought. There's a movie called The Secret. They talk about the law of attraction. They have technology. They can put it on your brain and put little nodes on and measure a thought. And a positive thought vibrates 10,000 times faster than a negative thought. So it's far more powerful. It's going to counterbalance, counteract, maybe even cancel out the negative. And it also has been proven that it has a magnetic quality to it. The positive thought and the emotion that comes with it can counter the trigger, especially when we bring it to the surface and then clear it through Tyler's alignment technique. On top of this, like I said, they've also proven that positive and negative frequencies or wavelengths actually have a magnetic effect. And so the question is, what do you want to be attracting into your life? The positive or the negative? It's ultimately up to you. It's your choice. And yes, it is a choice. Okay. I could read through the rest of this, but I'm going to just send it to you and let you read it. I'm going to send you an outline of how he does his clearing, what he calls his alignment. It's a combination of tapping over your forehead, which creates this micro counterbalancing effect. It's a combination of breathing with your hands up, if you can, to fill your lungs and get energy and get oxygen flowing into your system. It's a combination of, he does this panting, like that triggers a fight and flight response, which allows you to let it go, to release it. And then you smile, which brings in endorphins, which cements the positive feelings and makes your body okay with releasing the negative emotions and the weight. I'm gonna send out both of these for you. This is my gift to you guys. Okay, you may take it or leave it. You may think it sounds crazy. You may not want to do anything with it. You may want to learn all you can. I am seeing results in my parents. I've talked to other people who are blown away by what this does, and we're seeing things happen. And we have a client we've been waiting on for months who just signed, and I've been working on getting them over their hump, and I'm seeing it happen. So, okay. So last but not least, that's the next gift, guys. And I'm going to keep sharing this with you because I think it can help you. If you don't have any interest, let me know. The last gift I have is this. We have a wholesale travel partner that we've used in the past. We've advertised them on our website before, and we use their vacation packages, their certificates, as a way to just say thanks to our customers, right? We've sent them out to new team members before. We have used them with our guests on our shows. We've used them at expos, et cetera, et cetera. Well, we just decided to upgrade their package, and I want to show you what we've upgraded it to. Okay, because it's pretty awesome, guys, and we want to give you all this gift from us. Call it our 4th of July gift to you. Now, instead of just a 3 or 4 night hotel package, you're all going to have access to all or any of these these packages that you see on my screen. There's 3 to 7 night vacations for 2. There's a 7-night resort stay for 4. You can do a 4-night cruise for 2. 2-night hotel, including 2 round-trip airplane tickets. There's all-inclusive getaways. There's beach resorts. There's restaurant vouchers, hotel stays, et cetera, et cetera. I wrote up a document that I'm going to share with you all that has that, and this is something that you're going to be able to access yourself, guys, and also share with your clients. And it's a way for us to bless their lives, to tell them thank you, and also advertise the company a little bit. Okay, introduces them to us, talks about who we are and what we do. And then it gives them the option of one of these packages. There's even some options if they don't want to travel, they can choose some other things. And then I talk about the ways that we're trying to give back. And there's a glimpse at our flyer at the end. Okay. We're going to give this to each of you. Okay. You can go through and choose your own option, one of these options. If you want to take your significant other and go on a cruise, go for 7 nights to a resort, do an all-inclusive resort. This is our gift from us to you. Okay. You can take your pick of any of these, and you can also gift them to your clients. It's an investment on our behalf, but we think it's a good one. And don't be shy. If you want to order, you're gonna have to reach out to Jill. She can get it ordered for you and send you the details. You do have to pay the fees and taxes. It varies per package. What that costs, the port fees for the cruises, for example, or there's a fee for the airfare and hotel. I just looked into that one myself. But they're pretty cool. And we've had customers and team members who have used this 4-night hotel stay, and they've had great experience. Regal Nassif on our team, he's used it like 6 times or something like that. So anyway, that's the last gift. Okay. We'll send you this link, read through it. If you catch any typos, let me know. It is something you can share with clients, and we'll update it as we need to, and it introduces them to some of what we're doing. And no timeshare presentation required. You don't have to go sit through a 3-hour timeshare to have access to this. So I'm going to talk more next week about the alignment steps, but I'm going to send you some stuff to read. If it doesn't interest you, don't waste your time. If it does, I encourage you to check it out. Tyler has seen many clients who had a goal to raise their income from wherever they were at to significantly higher numbers. He's seen this work for them. I think every one of us has blocks. We have fears. We have insecurities. We have uncertainty. And I think he may be onto something, guys. I'm exploring this and learning it as we go, but I've seen enough to think that there's something to it. And if we can, I would love to see some of us start getting some testimonials and seeing some successes with this process. I think if it can help you, that's all I want, right? We want to see you guys be successful. We want to see you hit your goals and and accomplish your dreams. So I'm gonna stop talking now. So other than this, I think that's all I had. Let me just check. Yeah, that's it. We'll send out the links. If you want to learn more about Tyler's thing, I'll put a link to his website and his book. We'll give you a link to this gift package that we're gifting you all with. We
There's
have.
There's a couple questions too before you're done.
Okay. Let me see
Gabrielle
here.
has a question and Denise has a question.
Welcome, Bruce. Hi, everyone. Da, 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 da.
They just have their hands raised.
Oh, okay. I was reading through the chat. Go ahead. Whoever was up first.
I will go since I'm already unmuted by accident. I just wanted to give you a quick testimonial for Tyler's program. I still don't know what triggered anxiety. I've never been an anxious person, but I had an anxiety issue last fall. It started and it got so bad over the winter that I was losing hair, like a lot of it. And then it was even creating like a histamine reaction where I was walking around acting like I had a cold, but I didn't. And I had become allergic to my dog, which is the craziest thing because dogs are so comforting, but for some reason she was creating a problem. So I went through, just so happened I listened to that meeting and Tyler did his thing and I was really impressed. It combined something I had used before to overcome food sensitivities with like EFT and a bunch of other technologies or that's not the right word, but some other techniques. And I was like, I got to try this. So I did it one time and I went from a scale of 1 to 10, a 10 allergy to my dog to probably a 2. There was still like if I put my face right in or I might get a little stuffy. But before that, you would have thought I had like COVID or a horrible cold. And it was within hours, it was instantly gone. And so I've been like diving into all of his information. I'm super impressed by it. And I definitely am excited about learning more about his program too. Like you can't explain anything else. Like I've never seen anything overcome an allergy to that extent that quickly. It's really cool. And my anxiety went like way down. So it's all
Thank
better.
you, Gabby. I can't explain it, guys. I know it sounds a little crazy. I mean, I'll be the first to admit it's hard to explain, but if it works, and if he's right that we are holding on to trauma and triggers and things within ourselves, and we can, if he has figured out a way to clear that out of our health, out of our relationships, out of our finances, I mean, sign me up, right? I'll try anything once. So far, we're seeing results that are pretty impressive. So, Denise, go ahead.
Hey, Patrick. Hey, everybody. Thank you, Patrick. That was great information. I really am looking forward to getting that information. Wanted to ask about the Senior Home Services Program. Me and Miss Ada were talking about it, and she wanted to get clarification on the date moving from July until August. So I just wanted to know, is there an update on some type of date for Senior Home Services?
So the last we heard is it's the new you're talking about the new RTM program, the Remote Therapeutic Management Program. What they're doing is they're combining about 8 different platforms into one platform. And Andy, maybe you can explain it. You are the expert in that arena, but we're looking at end of July is when it's going to go live. But go ahead, Andy, anything you want to share?
Yeah, unless was anybody on the call on Monday night?
I listened to the replay and they said the training just went live today as of late last night.
The
So you can go through the training and certification now. And
did they announce any date on that call?
I don't think so. I feel like he was not quite giving exact dates. He said they're very, very close.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that because I have it on my computer as a recording. I was actually hoping to listen to it this morning, but we've had a bunch of other calls that have come before that. So I still get to that recording. I just want to make sure I wasn't saying anything if they announced a new date. But I was on the phone with Jim Bland the end of last week and asked him specifically. And he said they are shooting for July 24th now. I know they're trying to think it's the first week of July and then maybe middle of July, but they're continuing to do the testing. And like Patrick said, and we've mentioned this before, just remember this is 8 different platforms coming together to get the best of the best to make it be the most interactive, the most gamified so that people stay. And I've probably told you this guy's analogy too, but when you go to the doctor, you know, what do they tell besides if they have any meds or anything? Say diet and exercise, right? And we're all usually really good about doing it for a week or two, you know, it kind of slows down after the first week. And it's going to be the same thing with these seniors, right? If it's just a monotonous thing that they have to get on and do, they're going to end up stopping to do it. And then all of a sudden there's no billable hours anymore. But with this gamification, the way the video tracks things, and it's not just sports things that they're, you know, you see the video of them skiing down the Alps or playing tennis or something like that, but there's bingo and memory games and all things. But the cool thing is behind the scenes, and this is what they're all testing and making sure it all works together, it's tracking what they're doing. It's monitoring time so that the minutes can be recorded and then billed to Medicare so these people stay on it. And they can even do challenges and go on it online with other people. So it's going to be very interactive and something that they can have quite a variety, so that we can always get our those minutes in to help that cerebellum, you know, continue to stimulate the you know, everything going on in the cerebellum, the neuroplasticity of the brain to help keep them active and keep their gait and balance right, and so there's no falls, and they're helping with memory, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, last I heard is from Jim, and he didn't promise a date or anything. They're still doing all the testing to make sure there's no bugs when they release it, but it's going to be like the 24th or 27th of August is what they're shooting for right now.
This is Levi. I was on the call on Monday. They did say that they definitely would have it just towards the end of the call. He said, we will for sure have it in July.
Okay.
So
the other thing, since we are on Seniors Home Services right now, or I guess we need to continue to start changing our names. I'm the worst at saying Seniors Home Services, that it's a Remote Care Today, or RCT. So RCT, we did learn, because there's been some confusion about whether we can enroll a patient directly. Like we had, you know, when Jim Bland at the beginning of the year was really releasing the turn your healthy into a selfie type thing, where they could take a picture, the biometric app scans it, it gives them options to opt in, and they can get going on that. If that is not linked to a doctor, then meaning like if you just referred somebody to them and they got on that plan, Seniors Home Services or RTC cannot bill Medicare. It's a Medicare regulation. You are not allowed to pay for referrals. Now it's different if a doctor's doing it, because they're part of the continuum of care and doing like things like that. So that you've had any, because I've been on calls where they've said said it one way or they've said it another way. So both are true. You can get somebody on themselves. They can sign up and get on the program themselves if they're your referral, but you yourself will not be paid as the consultant to do so. So if my philosophy is, if you know the person well, you know, go to their, you know, get them to get their doctor involved, and then get their doctor signed up, and then get them on through their doctor, and then you'll get paid for that person plus the 300, 500, 1,000 more patients that may qualify that doctor has. So if you don't know the person well, it's still a good strategy to have them sign up themselves, and then once they're having success, then get to know them and then take it to their doctor. You'll still never get paid for that one patient, but you may get paid for his 300, 500, 1,000 other patients. So, so if there's been some confusion on calls that you've been on or things that we've said, that was the answer from Jim Bland.
Thank you, Andy. Okay, guys, thanks for staying on a little longer today. We do try to get done in 60 minutes, but sometimes we go 90. I think I've answered the messages in the chat. So yeah, so we'll send, this is the link to the vacation thing. Let me just post it in here if you want to grab it, and we'll send it out after as well. I'm excited about that, guys. I mean, we love to travel. It's going to encourage it. It's almost like owning a timeshare, right? You pay for it, you want to use it. You don't want it to go to waste, right? But
Hey,
it's
Alan.
Hey, Frank.
Frank, you're on mute, or you're not on mute. So if you want to click on the link I just put in the chat, guys, you can read the document. You can email Jill and let her know if you want one of those. Know that when you order it, the clock starts ticking. You have 24 months to use it. So if you don't have any intention of using it, hold off because it's just going to give you more time. Okay. But know that it's there. It's not going away. And you can start sharing it with your clients. What I recommend you do is send it to a new customer or even a big prospect that took time to meet with you and say, hey, let me send you something from us as a thank you. It's free, kind of free little getaway on us. And also it educates you a little bit about who we are, what we do. Could translate to more business. They might see that we do student loans or that we can help nonprofits or something. So that might be a good door opener for you, but it's if nothing else, it's going to earn you some appreciation and it'll be a nice just a relationship builder. So those of you who have got certainty emails, you haven't logged into it, start using it, please. We don't want to pay for licenses and have them sit there. And when we see somebody that says hasn't logged in yet or hasn't used it in 2 months, 3 months, that's not okay, guys. We're paying for licenses. If you're not going to use it, let us know. We'll give it to somebody else. So other than that, that's about it. I wanted to share with you one picture and then we'll close. Let's see if I have it here. I was trying to look where I put it. Oh, here it is. So I appreciate the testimonial, Gabrielle. This is what Tyler calls it's his kind of his catchphrase for his business. Unstoppablepreneur. Well, isn't that what we want to be, right? All of us. You look on the back of the shirt. That's the front of the shirt. He sent me one. This is the back of the shirt. And I love this summary of kind of your approach to life and to sales. When I set goals, I nail them in days and weeks instead of months or years. I live with no regrets as every decision I make turns into pure gold. I don't wait to find a passion. I live my life passionately. I lead by example and confront everything I fear or avoid. I banish shame, blame, and guilt and take full responsibility for my results. I'm empowered to do whatever it takes while keeping that which is most sacred to me. I am a warrior and I fight for my cause. I am unstoppable. That's pretty awesome. I'll send that out as well. We talk a lot of guys about the opportunity we have at Certainty to change our stars and bless the lives of others. We have that in and of the opportunity itself. But when you incorporate the right mindset, the right goals, the right energy, techniques like these that maybe can put it on steroids and fast track it or amplify it, that's where the ripple effects become mushroom effects and even a snowball effect. I talk a lot about that, but it is absolutely true. And we get to choose if that's happening for us or not. That's one of the things Tyler says I completely 100% agree with is we choose our outcome. Our thoughts dictate our feelings. If we don't like our feelings, let's change our thoughts. If you're hanging on to stuff that's making that hard, let's clear it out. Let's get rid of it. I can imagine our whole team with no hangups, no baggage, no hurdles, no blockage, no fears. Imagine what we could do as a team if that is our reality. So I'm going to keep cramming it down your throats. If you don't like it, don't show up. You can listen to the recording later and fast forward if you want to. But I think it's good stuff, and I think we should keep exploring it. And as we see results, we can determine if it works or not. I think it has merit, and so thanks, guys. Thanks for being here, and thanks for staying here twice as long, or 50% more. And how about a big round of applause in closing for Jill McCauley? who has onboarded every person here. And she just works so hard for us, guys. Victoria's not here. Let's make it all about Jill. How about a round of applause for Jill? We appreciate you, Julie Bean. And
Thank you, Jill.
I like the hearts, Leanna. That's exactly how we feel. So,
Thank you, Jill.
all right, Glenn, send us out, buddy.
God bless America and God bless you all. And thank you, Patrick, for everything you do for us. Amen.
It's my pleasure.
Amen.
Amen, brother.
Amen.
Thanks, Joe.
Have a good rest of the week. Our shows should be on the new platform by next week. We'll get you the dates and times if you want to follow along. So
Thanks again.
thanks, guys.
Thank you.